And then these crazy miracles would happen, dude, and wild stuff. So everybody kept telling their friends, hey, there's miracles are happening. The church asked her to leave, to pack up the time, 4 kids as a single mom, and go. They didn't care where she went. She just couldn't stay there. So kind of like weirded out, because I was like, these people I know are coming out of heaven, and they're like, we've been waiting for you to get here. It's like, heaven sings your songs all the time. Yeah. Because isn't it wild though, like when you just rest and relax in the love of God and you find that place of peace there, that then you actually do start impacting people, more people than running around doing all this stuff, just like you said. Because now I feel like your reach and everything has like grown. Yeah. After finding that peace of like, hey God, I don't need to be doing all this stuff, because at the end of the day, if I save 1 million people or just one, you still love me, right? Mm-hmm. You love me. Well, now that you've learned to rest in that reality, your life is now impacting, I think, more people than even before. That's kind of wild.
And that is wild. It's almost like people get into the best shape of their life because they're actually saying no more to things.
Yeah.
Doing less, so they can focus on that one thing.
That's true.
It's almost like that concept, right? It's like as you start to do less, you actually get more results. Mm-hmm. I love that. What about like for you, like when you look in this room, is there anything that you connect with that reminds you of something that you liked, you did?
Well, there's a lot of things that I immediately start connecting. First of all, Korn back here, Brian Welch is a really close friend of mine. Wildly enough, like that man was there the day I got my boys out of foster care, right? The day that, here we are, my daughter's having these wild dreams of these 3 little boys, and we had said yes to God. We will adopt, we will foster with the intentions to adopt. We had kind of like rearranged our lives, done all the preparation, the classes, did all the stuff. And then this wild day, it was like so inconvenient when it happened, because here we are, I'm actually leading worship at this conference, and Brian Welch was also leading worship at that conference. And he had actually come over to, instead of staying in a hotel, he was like staying at our house. And that was the day we got the call. Isn't that crazy? It was so inconvenient to get 3 wild kids out of foster care in the middle of a conference, that I was there. But it was the best thing ever, because my wife had one, because there's 3, right? My wife had one, I had one, and then we're like, Brian, you get the baby. We handed him the baby. And we still laugh about that to this day. That's funny. Just Ryan sitting there holding a baby in his hand.
What is it like, because, for people that don't know you, you have 5 adopted kids.
Yes.
And then 1 biological.
That's correct, yeah.
What is it like? What does the Ketterer's life look like when you guys bring in 5 adopted kids? And also, so people know too, these are 5 adopted kids that came from traumatic childhoods.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, they all came out of foster care, and the initial first 3 boys that we had were born meth exposed in utero. And so if you know what that means that they're struggling with a lot of like ADHD type behaviors and things like that as they mature. Usually that's a pretty common side effect of being meth exposed in utero. And unfortunately, these kids were probably, and you know this, I also work in mental health, specifically pediatric mental health. And these kids were the worst case of ADHD I'd ever seen in my life.
And you would know that because you're around a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, just for example, I would get calls from the school, and I'd have to show up at their school because they'd spit in their teacher's face, broke a chair. They couldn't get, one day my son just made up his mind he wasn't going to stand up all day. So he was just sliding around on his stomach all day. And they were like, you got to come and get your son because he won't stand up. It's just like, one day my wife pulls up to pick him up at the end of the day, and their teacher comes running up, grabs the window and she's like, please, can you keep them at home tomorrow? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So it absolutely rearranged our lives completely. And in the beginning, we were very naive to what it looked like to care for kids with extensive traumatic backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like we were naive to it. And there's a piece of that that's actually a benefit. Because if I would have known all the hard work that was coming, I would have said no.
And I love that you said that, because I was going to ask you that, right? It's like sometimes people think you need to be ready before you step into something, which maybe in some things are true. But like what you just said right there, it sounds like sometimes being ignorant to something or naive maybe is a blessing in disguise, because maybe you wouldn't take that action for that specific thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing in success. What do you say? Blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
it was definitely a blessing in disguise, because I would have said no. Like there is no way I would have invited all these problems into my home if I would have known what it was going to do. If somebody would have told me I was going to get so dependent on alcohol that I would end up in jail, that I'd almost be in divorce. If I'd have known all these things, you think I would have said yes to it?
Right.
There is no way. But because I did, and God was with us throughout it all, He led and guided my steps, my and my wife's path through all of it, we've now been able to come out on the other side, and the blessings that we have received, not just from these kids being a massive blessing to me, because they're a huge blessing. That was back, we got them at, especially those first three, we got them at 5, 4, and 1. Now I've got 20, 19, and 16.
Wow.
The 20-year-old is a Marine. The 19-year-old's in the Navy. He's a sailor. And the 16-year-old is going into the Marines when he turns 17. And they're massive blessings to me, man. They are just total gifts to me and my wife. And but we would have never had that. But even beyond that, going through all this stuff, it taught me and brought me freedom from so many things that I didn't want to face in my own life. Because you got that going on in your home, it's starting to expose stuff inside of you. Your behaviors are bubbling to the top. Your poor coping skills start coming out, and you're like, oh man, these aren't working anymore. And you're forced to deal with the things that have been internal, that I'd been hiding and pushing down. I was being forced to deal with them on a regular basis, which has only made me a more free and stronger person on the other side of it.
I love that. It's almost like God knew that Michael Ketterer needed this extreme stress to reveal things to you, to be able to finally take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
Because I was good at keeping it hidden.
Yeah. It's like, I think some people have a higher pain threshold. Some people need the typical, I got pulled over one time by a cop and I'm never going to drink again and drive. Like super easy, right? One pull time. Or some people are like, no, I had 6 DUIs and then I finally learned. It's like, damn.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. I love that. And then, for you, so, you have you adopted these kids, and that's just one part of your story, right? That people know you about, right? That's one thing people talk about. Oh, the guy that adopted 5 kids out of foster care. But you're also a musician. Like for you, what does music do for your soul, for one? Like as a person?
I love to hear you say that. I love this question because soul is our mind, will, and emotions, right? That's our soul. Our mind, will, and our emotions. And, music for me is way more than just something that I would listen to or connect with, which I know a lot of people use music like that. They connect with, they even find their identity in music and stuff like that. But for me, music is super key for me to connect with God. And the majority of my life, as I've created music and performed, it's the 99% of it has been through the context of worship and leading worship and writing worship music. I also do other songs too, because I'm able to express myself and my feelings and my emotions so much more authentically through music. You know, like if I were to say to you, I feel free today, or I feel great today because I feel like, you know, I'm experiencing freedom in my life. Yeah, we can have that conversation. But when you add the music and the production and the dynamics behind with the builds and the sounds and the rhythms, then all of a sudden freedom is something so much more than just a word, right? And that I'm able to experience. So yeah, so for me, music is my way of connecting with God. It's a very spiritual thing for me. And songs and progressions and like production, all that stuff is like the way that I can speak to God the most authentically in my life. Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah, it's interesting how like you hear words is one thing, but when you add some chords,
sure,
some, you know, like again, some more sounds to it, and the way you say it, right? The tempo and the frequency of your voice and how you bring it up, bring it low. Yeah, it's amazing how it can make you cry. It can make you feel anger. It can make you feel sadness. It can help you cope. Because sometimes maybe you're like that. A lot of us who've been traumatized in life, we tend to get really good at suppressing it, where it's hard for us to feel feelings. We know it's there, but it's hard to physically show it. But through music, like you said, it's like, wow, it's coming out. Whether you're driving in the car, it's late night. I don't know about you, but when I find a song like that, I'll replay it.
Over and over.
Because it's just like, wow, this is making
Until I can't listen to it again.
Then I get over it. I'm like, all right, I'm over this song.
Yeah.
So I love that. Yeah, because a lot of people, it's amazing how music, it's something that exists for a lifetime. Like even when you're gone, think about music we listen to.
Yes.
It's like, wow, that song's popular again.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that song has that much impact on people's lives.
Wow.
And then for you now, like, you've done music where you did the worship music, you're doing music again right now. How is it for you now doing music? Because I've known you and I remember you kind of took a hiatus, right?
Yeah.
From really making new music. Because how long did you take a break from making music? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was about 6 years that I took like a complete break from creating music. But it's so cool to hear you say that because, my childhood, I experienced a lot of trauma, personal trauma in my childhood and abandonment with my father leaving. And because I was raised in the church as a minister's son, there was a lot of things I basically learned to repress every feeling, thought, and emotion that I would have. And because of the chaos in my own home between my mom and dad, I didn't want to add to the stress. So I became like a pleaser in my own home. So I would want to please my mom to try to bring down the anxiety and stress that she was feeling. And I did not want to be the troubled kid that was adding additional stress. Right. That was my sister's job. and so I wanted to kind of help bring that in. So there was a lot, I didn't know how to express my feelings. Like I had no clue. I was not taught how to do it. It wasn't demonstrated for me in a healthy way. So I think as I'm hearing you talk, it just reminded me of that. I think that's initially what caused me to really press more into music than anything else, because I was expressing those feelings, right?
Would you say like music was almost like your first coping tool, really, to escape whatever you felt, right?
Yes, 100%. I was able to escape the feelings. And I remember growing up in a very religious home that I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music. Like I wasn't allowed to listen to anything secular. And
because what's for people that don't know, like, why can't you, because we all hear that, but what's like the purpose behind why people say you can't listen to secular music when you're in religion?
Yeah, because, and there is truth and reality to this, but there's a lot of, the enemy spiritual darkness loves music too, because it's an avenue for access into our inner, like you said, our souls.
Yeah.
Like music is one of the things, and you'll probably realize this, you can watch them like a little TikTok and you're like, okay, cool. But then they add that like music behind it. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? That emotional music. And now you're sucked in and you're ready to give money to it.
Yeah, and you're feeling it. And you're like, wow.
Feeling it, yeah. Because it breaks down barriers. We've now given access to what the message is to the inner parts of our inner parts without even really, it's all subconscious. We're not doing that consciously. Without that music, we might have like a barrier or a door, you know, and be kind of like closed off. However, the music creates this like open avenue, right? So I think to your question is like, we weren't, you know, you're not supposed to open your soul and up to things that aren't godly, right? And sometimes music can do that, obviously, but not every music is like at that level. Yeah. And so as a child, I remember I would hide under my bed with I had like this little AM/FM radio, and it had like a tape player on it too. And so I would be under the bed, and I would be listening to the radio. And if it was a good song that I really liked, I would stick a tape in there and record it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I could record the radio, but I have to be very stealthy, because if my parents found out, I was going to get in trouble. Otherwise, I was listening to like the Singing Americans and Sandy Patty, which are very, very religious Christian musicians back in the day. But yeah, so yeah, it was a way that I could really express my emotions and feel and escape in ways that I wasn't able to in any other capacity. Yeah, and then, you know, I always wanted to pursue whatever that looked like to create music, because I really found out I had a gift at a young age. Because in the church, the same church, they would have me sing special. My dad would have me get up and sing like special music, and you know, in the choir and all these kind of things. I learned how to sing growing up in the church, and I found out that I had a gift. People loved to hear me sing. I felt good because I loved the attention that I would get. I loved the affirmation that I would get.
Would you say that was like one of the first things you can remember, that something that gave you that much affirmation and validation for something that Michael Ketterer is doing?
Absolutely, man. And on top of that, my dad was a very, very busy human. He would keep himself very busy at all times, and I didn't really have that great of a relationship with him or any kind of real connection to him. I remember always, you know, searching for his affirmation, but when I would sing, I would get it. And so not only was I getting it from him, but I was getting it from everyone around me. Whoa, you can sing really great. You've got a great voice. My gosh, let's get him to sing more. And then that became like a source of my identity because I loved the way that I felt receiving that affirmation. You know, and I wasn't getting it in a lot of other ways, because I was, you know, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of chaos and things going on in my home. I didn't really feel a lot of great connections with other peers and kids my same age. And yeah, so all that was happening. But the music was giving me this like avenue to like escape all that, to escape everything, right? And I kind of, as I grew and I got older, this is kind of weird and it's really hard to explain, but I kind of knew it was wrong that I was gaining so much of my identity out of music and out of singing and performing. Because, you know, I became really good at performing. Remember I told you I was a pleaser? Well, pleasers have to learn to perform.
Yeah, we get really good at reading a room, reading a crowd, how to look, we get good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I even tell this to my wife, I can pull into the driveway and I know if she's in a good or bad mood. Don't even ask me how I know, but I can sense it. Yeah, it's just like you really do. Like, because you get really good at reading the signs and feeling the things. And
then were you kind of noticing this before the United Pursuit part of your story starts? Were you kind of noticing that before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew this because even when I was in high school, you know, I was in several like rock bands and things like that in high school. And I led worship at my youth group. And I just kind of knew that all this praise that I was getting for music and singing, that at the end of the day, it wasn't, I now know it was the voice of the Holy Spirit, right? It was now, it was like, it wasn't good for me. You know, like I wasn't gaining it in the right places. And I also had this fear, this weird fear, and I don't know exactly why. Probably somebody said something at some point, but I just had this weird fear, like if I ever lost my voice or my ability to sing or do music, who would I be? I just had that like kind of like thing in the back of my mind a lot, you know?
And I think that's like a real fear people have, right? That are athletes, artists, musicians. Because think about it, if the zombie apocalypse, well, you're a nurse now, but let's say you didn't have that. The zombie apocalypse happened today. What's Michael gonna do? You're gonna sing them away?
Yeah.
Right? So you have a talent that like, if that's taken away, usually people don't have any talent after that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, know? Exactly. And that's literally, you know, that kind of hovered, you know, weight on the back of my mind and stuff.
Do you feel like so the downside is that, right? There's that fear.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the positive side in that for you, did that make you like double down on that dream of yours and gift of music?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that, right? Yeah. Because it was, the positive side is that this is what I want to pursue. This is what I want to do. I gained so much joy from this, from creating music, from singing music, from performing, for leading others in worship. Like that to me is the epitome of using my gift, is leading others in worship, because the music now sets the atmosphere. Like I said, it opens up doors within us as people and believers in God, that when the music is right, we now have access. It's like this flowing like river that goes from heaven to us without the need for, like, you know, sometimes we like to dam up that river, but when we get into that worship and into that space where we are just free to commune with the Lord, it's like it just flows so freely. And now it's not really me that's doing the ministry, it's God, it's His Spirit that's doing the ministry. I just help create the atmosphere for it. So to me, that's like the best, that's the epitome of like using my gift and my talent. Now I still love to write songs and I love to tell stories and all those things as well, but that to me is like the best way, because now I've basically created an avenue for you to connect with the Lord, and He's the one doing the ministry, you know? So it's really, I love it. I think it's a beautiful thing. But, you know, I knew that because I was getting all this affirmation from it, that this is what I wanted to do. And I really, like you said, I would double down on it. I was in bands, I was writing with my buddies. We were dreaming of what one day it would look like to sing and lead and perform music, like as a career. I guess I just had no idea how to get there, first of all, and then I had no idea what that. Okay, so in your brain you think like, oh, it's like usually like a rock star or like this, you know, maybe it's this like crazy worship leader or something like that. You have this thing in your mind of what you want to be.
Yeah, because back then what people don't realize is you're in an era at this time where there is no social media.
No.
So it's not like, oh, we just make videos every day on our social media and YouTube, right? And Spotify or SoundCloud, and someone's going to notice us.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was born in 1977, so I'm Gen X, right? Yeah. So back when I was in high school, when I graduated high school, it was 96. There wasn't even cell phones. Did
you have the beeper, or is the beeper out yet?
Yeah, the pager was there. Now I guess there were car phones. You know, that big giant thing that like was in the console of your car. Yeah, they had that, but we didn't carry around like cell phones in our pocket, let alone supercomputers in our pocket. You know, so everything in the world was very different. And how we would create music, how much it would cost. There was a lot of money. It cost so much money to do anything back then. But I still, like you said, the positive of that thing is that it did cause me to like pursue it and give my all to it, because again, I just felt like this is who I am. That's what I was made to do.
And from there, and I love this too, because so like for you, your high school, you graduate high school, you said in 96? So 96 you graduate high school, so you're 18 years old. From that point on, what would you say was your first piece of success in your eyes as a musician? Because again, there's no social media. You're not posting about like what does that even look like? Like how I want to know what that looks like, that blueprint. Like, was it planned? Was there a strategy, or was it just it happened because you kept on showing up?
So that's so funny because I at that time I was just, you know, I had a few recordings. I had a tape, you know. I think my band at the time we called ourselves Yahweh.
Okay. We gotta find some Yahweh. Hey, do you have any music from back in the day so we could play in this too?
It was literally a tape cassette, and it's me and my like in the '90s. And I'm in my grunge attire, and I'm like on the hood of a car, and my band's like all grunge. We have this like, you know, stoic face, classic '90 artist band photo. You know what I mean?
What was like an inspiration for that? You said your style and the look, if you remember. Like,
well, because I was all into like grunge. Oh my gosh, I love Chris Cornell so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Chris Cornell. And all those artists at the time, and but we called ourselves Yahweh, which when you think about it, like that's the unspeakable name of God. We're not even in the Hebrew, we're not even supposed to say it. It's supposed to be like Yahweh. It's like a breath.
Yeah.
And here I am, my rock band. We're called Yahweh. But I just think about it. I bet God was laughing so hard at that. He loved it, you know. Here's my kids. They don't even know what they're doing, but I still love them, you know. But yeah, no. That was such fun times, though. The creating, the figuring it out. But yeah, we had done a few songs and stuff like that, and wildly enough, one guy from the band Third Day. So their Third Day was an amazing 90s like worship full rock band back in the day. And it was my favorite. I love Third Day so much. Well, one of the band members had started his own little label. Well, he found out about me, I guess, because, you know, we were kind of a big fish in a little pond kind of thing, growing up in East Tennessee. This time I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the time. And so we were like a big fish in a little pond. So he eventually, I think he heard of us. He reached out to me, which is really crazy because he reached out to me and he was wanting to pursue, like, you know, potentially signing me and my band and things like that. And my brother was the drummer at the time in my band. And so of course we all are just thinking like, this is awesome.
This is our moment. Yeah.
This is our moment, you know? And we were so excited. And the wildest thing happened that night. I remember we were debating whether I was praying and asking God, like, should I sign this, you know? Is this something that you want me to do? And that night I had this wild dream. And in this dream, I was on my way into heaven. So I can't explain it, but it was like if I was dead or something and I was in the waiting lounge waiting to get into heaven. And I knew that when I was in that waiting area that we could confess our sins one to another and then they wouldn't be held against us. So there was these people around me. And I was like, I need to tell you about these sins in my life, and they were confessing their sins to me, and then it was kind of like void. It was all black. It's kind of like those movies, kind of like Stranger Things when she goes into her little trance where it's all black, but you can still see the people like that are right in front of you. So that's kind of where it was. And so I'm with these people, and then all of a sudden the light over here in the darkness go boom, and they'd be like, Group A, you can now enter the gates of heaven. And then these gates would be like, and they were like, yeah. And just in my dream, I remember being so excited for them. I was so happy that here they're going into the gates of heaven. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we sat down, and then this angel came up to us, and he's not like what you would probably think an angel was. He was this bald-headed, kind of overweight guy in like a mock turtleneck. I was like, okay, this is not my image of an angel. And then we were all sitting down, and he started going around the room, and he was like, heaven knows you as hope. And then they went to the next person, so-and-so, heaven knows you as joy. And then he got to me and he looked me straight in the face and he was, Michael, heaven knows you as love. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just remember that being like, we were looking at each other and the people there for giving me high fives. We're like, this kind of like wow moment. And then all of a sudden, the light shines on us and the doors open up and we get to start going through the gate. And as I start getting ready to go through the gate, one of my friends who comes out, he came out, he was this older gentleman, comes out of the gate. And he goes, Michael, we've been waiting for you to get here. And I was like, what? I was like so kind of like weirded out because I was like, these people I know are coming out of heaven. And they're like, we've been waiting for you to get here. He's like, heaven sings your songs all the time. He said, we sing your songs up here all the time. And then another one of my friends was like, yes, and came up and gave me a big hug. They're like, finally you're here. Finally, you're here so we can sing the songs with you. All these songs you've written, heaven sings them all the time.
Wow.
And then, bam, I woke up from that dream. And it was like this wild moment. Like in my bed, it was like, whew, I could still feel like the presence of God even though I was awake in my bed. And God spoke to me and said, don't seek fame where it's fleeting because you're already famous in heaven. And your songs are already, being worshiped to. The songs that you're writing just now in your quiet times and when you're hanging out with your buddies, writing these songs, the choirs of heaven are already echoing those songs. And I knew that immediately. I knew that meant that I wasn't supposed to sign that record deal. And so I went back and I told my band, I was like, God gave me this crazy dream. I thought they'd be so excited. Well, they weren't. They were all really upset about it, especially my brother. But I was like, I know this isn't the right move. God told me not to pursue this because I think my motive was, I need to be this famous rock star. And that's what the motive was behind it. But I was able to release all that to God in that time. And I was like, okay, God, then in that case, because that's in my mind what success looked like, was to become this rock star. I was like, if that's not the right vision for my life, is to pursue that rock star fame thing, then what am I supposed to do? Like, what does it look like? And then from there is when just living that surrendered life, going before God each day, using my gift to sing and create music the best way. From there is when God started directing my steps, and I ended up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and with the United Pursuit guys. And so that's how that happened. And so if you don't know much about United Pursuit was kind of like this wild group of like young people in East Tennessee in Knoxville, right outside of UTK. And we were just worshiping the Lord in living rooms and bachelor pads and college campuses, and thousands and thousands of people started getting drawn in as we were just doing this. It wasn't connected with any church or affiliated with any ministry. It was purely just us hanging out together as friends and worshiping and writing and creating as we sang our praises to God. It was drawing so many people in.
Yeah, how did they start drawing people in? So, because what I'm hearing is right, so you have this dream, you don't sign this and again, for a lot of people that may sound crazy, like, how do you know if you're supposed to listen to that dream or if it was just a dream, right? Because I have crazy dreams where I'm a monkey and I'm running around wearing a dress. I'm like, am I supposed to buy a dress? Like, I don't know, right? But you know what I mean. So like, you hear this dream, and to you find the strength and the faith to say no to what looked like your moment of success. Here we go, and then it puts you a different route. You follow. And I'm sure it wasn't like the next day United Pursuit happens, right? So it's a journey.
No, it was like several years after that.
Several years after that, right? So it's a lot of faith in that. And you meet these people, and you see all these people are being drawn. So like, so kind of, how did people start hearing about you guys? Were you guys making flyers? Were you guys just inviting friends and family? How did the noise of this group of kids get out there where we're like, we got to go check these people out?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's such a great question, man. It is such a great question. I think I have to go back just a little bit and just let you know, like, because of a lot of the trauma and the stuff that I experienced as a young child, when and all the wounds and the things that I held on to, and the messy divorce that my parents had, and it just kind of left us kind of like alone in a lot of ways. Thankfully, it could have done one or two things, because my sister, it drove her like to drugs and alcohol. But for me, it pushed me over into the Lord, because it was wild, because there was this mission trip, and somebody invited me to go on this mission trip, and when I went on that mission trip, my life was completely changed, because it was just a wild trip that I went on. And so it drove me into God, and these people that it drove me in to connect with were all these very spiritual people. They were like Pentecostal, charismatic, and they were all open to these wild things that I had never heard or seen before, because I was Southern Baptist, man. That's what my dad was. And so I didn't even know about like tongues and visions and prophecy and falling out in the Holy Spirit. So it was kind of like these people that were loving me so well when I wasn't getting it anywhere else, mm-hmm. They were loving me so well, were also open to these very spiritual practices. And I was like, well, maybe they're true. And then as I started like opening myself up to them, I was like, oh wow, this is really amazing. And a lot of the stuff was spot on, and I'd started opening myself up spiritually. So dreams did start to become a more common thing in my life. And so I would learn how to discern whether it was like a pizza dream or whether it was God speaking to me, And so that's kind of how I was able to mesh that out when that was happening. But so the God says, don't sign that contract, mm-hmm. son. You're already famous in heaven. Don't pursue the earth's fame. Instead, pursue mine. Pursue my plans that I have for you, and watch what I can do. So then anyway, I end up in Knoxville, Tennessee. I meet these guys, and it's so crazy now, because what we were doing back then was nobody was doing it before. Now it's very common mm-hmm. to like go to like a worship gathering, especially if you're involved in like church world, and they have like prophetic worship where the music kind of is flowy and people are stopping and listening, and where it's more based around the music than even the message. Like the words like 15, 20 minutes, but the music is like the hour or whatever, that's so common that, but back then that was never not even heard of, But what we were doing is we were creating these spaces where all we would do is just worship 2 and 3 hours sometimes, and just talk to the Lord. Like I said, we were open to the spiritual things, and so we would it's like this prophetic things. If we were hearing from God, we would say it, or we would sing it out, and it would become a song, and then we would capture those songs and then record them later on. And dude, it was crazy. It was like it blew up. But the crazy thing about that season was, because it hadn't really been done before, people were telling each other, hey, there's this wild meeting where these kids just literally worship for like 2 hours, and people are coming in, and some people are getting healed while they're there. Some people are getting set free from addictions. Because when we started like gaining momentum, what is it called? Youth? Oh, it's a recovery place for teens. Teen Challenge. Teen Challenge, yeah. Teen Challenge started bringing their kids to us on a regular basis, because they would come in and they would get like healed, or they would experience these levels of freedom and connection with God. And so they were bringing them into our. This was happening every Tuesday night, so they'd bring them in on Tuesday nights. But because of it, people were spreading the word. We didn't have to do any kind of publicity or anything like that.
Because what year was that when all that started happening?
That would have been. It would have been like probably 2008.
Okay.
2008, 2009.
See, and at that point, there's still no social media. And,
yeah.
And YouTube's only been around for maybe a year or two, and it wasn't a thing yet. It was kind of just, okay, there's that website where you can put videos on. It wasn't really like a thing like it is now.
Nothing like it is now. And then also Facebook. Facebook was there, but it was mainly for college kids, right? At the time, right? But Facebook was having its revival as we were having our revival because there was this really wild window of time. So after we United Pursuit, we were having these worship where kids were coming. First of all, they would come and fill our living room. And remember, there wasn't like this pastor or leader that was kind of governing it. We were allowing, I guess it would be like us, our team, we were allowing the Holy Spirit to move, and we were facilitating like what we felt the Holy Spirit was doing. So if God gave me a prophetic word over a kid, we would release that prophetic word, and we would see, hey guys, we just take a minute. Hey guys, I just feel like God wanting to heal people. If you're sick in your body, that right now, I really sense the Lord wanting, the Spirit of God wanting, highlighting. I'd lean over to my friend and be like, yeah, that's exactly what we're feeling. Okay, the Spirit of God wants to heal people. And then these crazy miracles would happen, dude, and wild stuff. So everybody kept telling their friends, hey, there's miracles are happening over at this event. And, but anyway, it started in a living room, then it got too big for that. So then we moved it to a bigger living room, and then it got too big for that, so we moved it to my house, which I had the biggest living room, and then it got too big for that, so then we ended up going to like a store with this like storefront let us like use their store to meet in it. It's just wild stuff how we ended up going from one place to another, but people were really getting impacted by it. But what happened is when we decided to record the songs that we were writing in that, and that were coming out of it, we were going to release them. And it was at the same time that Facebook, you could actually get like viral on Facebook, right? And so we released it on Facebook, and that's basically all we did. And it blew up.
These were audios or video recordings?
This was audio and video.
Okay.
Both. Simultaneously. We had an amazing, her name's Brittany Frey, and she was a photographer, and she would capture all the video in such this beautiful, authentic, warm tone kind of way that you see a lot of people doing now. But back then that was, again, never done before.
And is this like when I see like the music videos for it, let's say, right? Because I've seen some of the United Pursuit ones that are like 10 years older.
Yeah.
Is it just like a one-time shot? Because it's like a live, you guys are all playing and everyone's there and you're just capturing it in that moment?
Yeah. Most of the time, yeah. It was like live in the moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were so young, we didn't know what we were doing, but we were pressing into these things that when I think back now, they're so common now for people to do, but back then it had never been done before. Before us as United Pursuit, the majority of worship was done on these big stages, and it was very production, and there was like fire, pyrotechnics and smoke and all these kind of things. So that's kind of the way Christian music was done up until that point. But here we are doing it in this completely different and new way, and it was very raw and real, and we were capturing it visually in a very new and real, authentic way that had never been done before, where it was messy, and you could see that there was mistakes, and you could hear in the recordings the Tennessee country accents, you know what I mean? It wasn't this polished thing, and people were eating it up. People were going nuts.
So when you guys posted on Facebook, like, did it go viral? Was it just
yes.
like, it was just like blowing?
Like overnight.
Wow.
And then it got up to like where a lot of our songs were gaining all this momentum. Then this group called Jesus Culture, which came out of Bethel, it was up at Bethel at the time. They started covering some of our songs.
Oh,
wow. Tasha Cobbs was this gospel artist. She ended up covering Break Every Chain.
Yeah, that song is.
And then it blew up and won an Oscar.
Yeah.
It was like, won a Grammy. And it was just like this crazy momentum started coming out of nowhere. It looked like it was coming out of nowhere. But for all of us, and for me included, it was years of following the Lord and his path to get to that point.
Because when the boom happened, about how many years has it been of you doing music at that point, would you say?
Well, I'm terrible with dates and numbers and all that kind of stuff, and I know you're great at it.
Yeah. Would it be more than 15 years of you doing music at this point?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's 100%. What you're trying to explain, right, to people is like, it may look like overnight.
Yes.
Because maybe you just heard of me, but what they don't see is like 15 plus years of just grinding it out.
Yes.
In whatever way it is, right? At home, in a little band, right? School, fun projects, trying something.
And just letting God like cultivate that relationship in me, because if you think about it, and when you look back, if it wasn't for the trauma in my life, I wouldn't have been drawn to this spiritual family. I wouldn't have been open to it, because I wouldn't have been desperate enough to give the lady in this like purple gown and a flag the time of day. You know what I mean?
Or even like the impact of the impact that your voice has, and the motivation behind why you do what you do, and the way that you show up, probably, and the love that you have for others. I mean, all that probably comes from the pain. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's you can't fake the pain. If you haven't been through something, you can't fake the emotion behind what you do. Right?
Never.
It's almost like, and I like I think the Father, Heart of a God, I think it talks about it, or Pastor Dave Gibbons said it, those who lack a father, seek the Father more. Those of us that lack the love of our biological dad, we lean on God more, because we don't have that. But somebody has that healthy dad, right? I mean, and they're lucky, they have that good, healthy dad, right? They have a Michael Ketterer in their life. They may not seek God to that degree. I'm not saying they don't love God or not connected to God, but they have I could call my dad and say, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing? We want to hang out, son." Like, "Yeah, let's hang out. How you been? Thanks." But when we don't have that, we lean towards our spiritual God even more. And so, I think a lot of what you've done, right, as you've seen that motivation, that drive, the longevity, is because of what you've felt and been through.
100%. 100%, hands down. Yeah, I mean, that is what caused the drive for me to search out who God was as a father, right? I mean, it's all anybody had to do was tell me God is a father, and then I was like, I know.
I got daddy issues. Where?
Yeah. And then it was like I started, sometimes to my detriment, but I would be leaning into these men of God as father figures to me, and learning and gleaning from their lives, But it did make me very vulnerable to spiritual like manipulation too, because I was very vulnerable, because I needed that father in my life so much. And there was a certain individual that kind of took advantage of that for a while in my life, but I learned a lot from that as well.
And what does that look like? We don't have to talk about names, but so somebody can kind of be aware of, maybe it's already happening to them, or maybe they can avoid it. Like, what is that fine line of spiritual manipulation and somebody trying to spiritually really help you?
Yeah, so, it wasn't, everybody that was recognizing my gift didn't have pure motives, right? And one of the things that you notice and recognize is in the church, they have all these needs. And so they really exploit people's giftings a lot of times without really caring for them as an individual. And that's kind of an unfortunate reality, right? Because there's schedules and things that need to be filled, and so you can play guitar and you can sing. Well, we're going to put you in all these slots, and we don't really take the time to find out like what's really going on in your life. Do you have the capacity to fill these slots? Hey, do you really even love Jesus? You know what I mean? And so sometimes that happens, and there was a certain individual that was really exploiting and using my gift for his gain and his kind of like fame within the body of Christ. And I fell into it. Thankfully, after I met my wife, she helped expose that, like, hey, this is not healthy. This stuff, And I know your woman's kind of the same way.
Oh, yeah.
They're just so black and white, and they just see it like, oh, no. This isn't healthy.
Yeah, that's not right what they're doing to you. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It'll be okay. But, you know what? It's okay if I stop and just send a text real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just got to shoot a text.
So let's hear it, right? So we have the spiritual manipulation going on. Obviously, you had to use the restroom right now.
Yeah.
So that's why you're probably like, well, what just happened right after this cut?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you said, wife comes into the picture, and she was the one I was able to point it out. Like, I think what this person's doing isn't right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is exactly, and it's crazy because even I would be like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. that was before I learned to really trust her and like and her perspective and her gifting, which she has a huge gift of discernment, right? And so, but you know, at that time I was still struggling with that. But you know, it was really crazy because the same guy that was having me do these wild things for him, you know, it got really gnarly towards the end because we had a Christian like teen club type thing where we would open it up and we would have hosts like different worship bands and Christian artists and things like that, and even, you know, local bands and artists, just to give teens something fun to do, like as an alternative. And obviously we would also minister to them, but host our youth events and stuff like that would be from it as well. And it was right in downtown Chattanooga, which if you've ever been downtown Chattanooga, it's just like this really cool vibe. But over time it started getting like, we started compromising more and more of our values, and it ended up getting crazy to the point where we were having like Playboy pinup bunnies come and like, you know, host nights, and there was this like certain, oh my gosh, it's just crazy all the things that ended up taking place. But come to find out, and it didn't happen till much later, because me and my wife were really wrapped up in the leadership of this place, it was this club at the time. So we were really wrapped up in the leadership of it. And there was one event, it was this crazy event that was taking place. And I remember, because it was probably 2 weeks before this occurred, that I went to the leader. And this is the same man that when I talk about spiritually manipulate, was the same man that was like doing all that. I went to him and was like, we're out. Me and my wife are out. We've tried to tell you, we wanted, you know, over the years, we've tried our best to let you know, like, we don't approve of all this stuff. Finally, we're out. And when we did, we made a lot of enemies, because a lot of our friends and our families were there and were involved, and they didn't understand why we were leaving, because we were trying our best not to rub his name through the mud. But there was certain people that we loved so dearly, like that we were telling them all the stuff that we were seeing.
And were they believing you when you were telling
them?
They
weren't.
Yeah.
That's the problem, you know. And then they were calling us bad things.
Yeah.
You know. And but come to find out years later, that man not only was spiritually abusing, but he was actually having inappropriate sexual relationship with minors and all this stuff that you hear about. Yeah, all the stuff that you hear about. And so, which was kind of wild, because I would say probably like 30 years later, after we had a huge fallout with a lot of people that we called family and friends, because we had did our best to expose to them, and they rejected the truth and rejected us, they all came back and apologized, you know, 30 years later.
Wow.
And we're like, you guys tried to warn us. You were telling us the whole time the truth, and we didn't believe you. So we want to repent to you for that and ask for your forgiveness. And so, of course, we did, you know. It's 30 years later. I haven't thought about it in a long time. But it's just one of those things that now they have these significant wounds that they're going to carry from that. And we don't realize, like, spiritual abuse is very wounding to people, because they're taking that role and that voice of God and using that to manipulate you to get things done, their motives and their agendas done. And so I do, like, if people are involved in that, I know for me, like, it was really hard, and I had a lot of wounds from that even, which is, it's just really, the world is rough, right? Because here I am, I have these father wounds, and I'm seeking the Lord as He's filling them, and then I'm finding these men of God, and they're not like necessarily helping me, but they're exploiting those wounds, you know. So that is kind of a danger that can happen sometimes. And so it is good to bring awareness to that. And if you do think that, if you do feel like you're in the midst of that, you know, there is freedom from that, and God does want to heal those things. Because remember, it's not God. I think that's the danger, is that some people blame God for that kind of stuff, or or turn away from church because that happened. But it's not God, it's men. And wherever human beings are involved in anything, there's going to be the ugly side too.
Yeah, it's like it's like I tell people, it's you can have a person that goes to the gym that you go to, and they may be an asshole, but it doesn't make the gym a bad place to go to. It's just that guy.
What a good point, man.
What I mean? Same thing. People can people can say they love God and believe in God and go to church, and they can still do bad things. It doesn't mean God's a bad person. It's just that person's sick. So learning how to separate that. But like you said, it's hard when you have these wounds, you find this comfort and this new life through God, and now all of a sudden you're getting wounded again by these people of God. And it is a weird type of abuse, because like you see, it's almost like when you're in it, you don't see it. And when you get out of it, you want to tell other people about it. And these people think you're the one that's lying. Yeah. And it's like this, it's a weird experience. It's like this weird thing. It's just,
it's true though. You're 100% right on.
It's funny, and you won't understand this because you've never been in this place, but I have been in both places. When you go to a sex party, and you look around, and you look around at these crazy sex parties, and you look at people's eyes, there's this weird feeling that you see, like this darkness in people's eyes. And the way people look at you, they're like, oh, hey, who are you? Oh, you must be that person that everyone's talking about. Come over here. And it's like this weird feeling. It's just weird. It's like dark and weird, and it's just almost like demonic, right? You feel this weird thing. And I feel like in spirituality, when you get that weird, like, hey guys, I gotta go. So-and-so did this to me at the church. Oh, we have no idea what you're talking about. He would never do that. Yeah. Are you sure? I know this person. I think it's you. We're going to have to not hang out with you no more. And it's like this weird, like, well, what's happening right now? We were just friends having dinner last night. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you just, and it's like, I'm the bad guy. Yeah. So I try to explain those weird energies as something it's a weird feeling. Oh, bro. In those moments.
It is such a weird energy. That was the best way to put it. It is this weird energy. Weird. It's like this transition that takes place when you were like the loved, attribute to our family and to our dynamic and to our community. And now that you're like exposing these things, then now you become a threat. Think about it. Think about what a threat you are to their status quo. They want to still believe that everything's great. They still want to believe that it's all good and that this human is above making mistakes, and that their faith in God conquers all human dynamics, which unfortunately God didn't say that. He said he'd be there in the midst of our problems. He didn't say that he would take all our problems and our character flaws and issues away. There's a process to that. We have to go through that. Does it mean that we're never gonna have any problems? And I think that's what some people feel like when they go into these. This is my this is my safe place, and now you are a threat to that.
Yeah, it's weird. You see it. I've seen it, and not all of them. I'm not saying all of them do this. Again,
of course, it's not everywhere. Yeah.
MLM, multi-level media marketing. They have ones for insurance companies, Amway. I'm not saying they're all like that, but I've had an experience where friends from a gym share this. Oh, Fausto, you want to retire young? It's a whole story. Oh, what do you mean? I have these friends to meet, my mentors. You meet the mentors. Everyone's loving, kind. Everyone knows your name. They're proud of you. They're excited. And it seems like this, you're going to retire before you know it. And then you go to these events, and all of a sudden, hundreds of people know who you are. You're Fausto. Everyone meet Fausto. I'm like, whoa. And then there comes a catch where you got to pay money. So let's say innocently, oh, I can't afford that right now. Oh, okay. Well, what can you afford? I can't afford that either. All right. And then all of a sudden, you go to the gym, see your friends. Hey, how's it going? Oh, hi. What's going on? Oh, nothing. Just we're busy right now. And it's like my friends from the gym now are acting, why don't they want to talk to me no more? They act like they don't even know me anymore. All these people act like they don't know me. Well, what just happened? And again, it's like that weird thing. It's like, well, you're actually, you're a burden to us now. You're taking us away from our success by who you are. So we can't talk to you no more. It's a similar thing that I've seen happen. And not all of them are like that, but I've seen some experience how people could get very culty, I want to say.
Yeah. And that, honestly, what you're saying right now was probably one of the hardest realities that I had to come to terms with in my life, was that the church, because the church was such an integral part of my development over the years of my life. You know, I told you my dad was in ministry.
Yeah, you grew up in it.
I grew up in it. I grew up in the dynamics of what that looked like. Thankfully, my mom was a very spiritual person, even though we were in this very black and white, rigid, religious type of a church. And so she always taught me kind of that dynamic. She always would teach me, hey, just because, you know, you see these people doing bad things doesn't mean God is bad, right? Which probably one of the hardest moments of my entire life. And the worst, most shame that I ever felt was when my parents got a divorce in the church at the time. So they were in the church, we were in the church, my parents got a divorce. And after their divorce, because my dad was a minister, they told us we had to leave. And so even though my mom was now cheated on, because my dad cheated on my mom, and that's why they ended up getting a divorce, she was experiencing that isolation and loneliness. The church asked her to leave.
Wow. To
pack up her, at the time, 4 kids as a single mom and go. They didn't care where she went. She just couldn't stay there. And then that's when I watched my mom crumble in front of my eyes. And she ended up moving. We ended up moving from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky at the time, when they got their divorce, all the way to East Tennessee, Dayton, Tennessee, because that's where her mom was and her family was. And so we ended up going all the way there. She's got a 14-year-old son, you know, a 12-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old boy, and then a baby. And all of us had to leave, and you know, and that I remember never feeling so, you know, like labeled. And yeah, it was hard, because even when we moved to this other place, I felt like, do people look at us like this? You know, are we this terrible, you know, do we have this mark on us, like almost like a scarlet letter type thing? And it was just like, you know, that shame that we took. And like, that's what I told you, here I am in the middle of all that. And then the people that reached out to us and actually started welcoming us in were these wild, charismatic Pentecostal people. And they had a ministry into the inner cities and you know, to prostitutes and gangbangers and all this wild stuff. That's what made up the congregation. And that's why I always say, like, that's why the Magic House feels so at home for me. I feel so home there.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because here we were, you know, realizing, you know, that we couldn't make it in the religious church. We got kicked out of there. And the only place that would take us and accept us was this kind of like wild space. But I was experiencing God like I'd never experienced him before. And so in my life, where I've experienced and encountered God the most has been in these places that doesn't look like the place you would go. Yeah. You know what I mean? That doesn't look like the right spot. Just like Magic House, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like the right spot that you would go to encounter God. But hey, that's where God moves, I feel like, the strongest so much of the time, because people are so hungry and desperate. They've realized they cannot do it in their own power, that they don't have enough inside. You know, the world tells you, you know, you have the strength, you have the power to make the change, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, there's a piece of us that we have to take ownership over ourselves. But when you get to the bottom of yourself, when you hit rock bottom, or you've just got, you know, dispelled by the one place that was supposed to love you, church, you know, that you feel like they call themselves, you know, you hear the words that we're the family of God. The family of God kicks you out. Where do you go from there? Like, for real, where do you go from there when the family of God kicks you out? That's why I feel like why so many people get so many wounds from the church is because when you stop meeting this standard, and it's like, it's an unspoken standard too. It's like this weird, this kind of assumed standard. When you start meeting that standard, and you're no longer allowed to be a part of that community.
Yeah,
it's a deep wound.
That's what I think people, hopefully they get from this too, is this is why we can't give we can't keep people on pedestals.
Yeah.
We gotta remember everybody's flawed and see everything, and really see everything for what it is. Like, hey, people can change on you. People could be lying to you. Or church, it's still a business. You look at it from behind the scenes, it's a business. And guess what? The bigger it is, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be rules, regulations, things are going to change. So don't put all your trust or give everything to it. Take a step back and realize. It's kind of like when people fall in love. And, I met this person last week and this is the love of my life. We're going to have kids already. I can already see it. Okay, hold on. Does she even like you? Like, you just met her. Well, of course she likes me. Did she tell you that? Well, no. Okay, I'll calm down, right? Sometimes people trust too easily or just fall into things too easily and then they get hurt. You're right. It's like, things happen. Take a step back. People are people, right?
Exactly.
And I think it'll help protect you. From not giving so much of your energy away to people, because like you said, people will the reality is everyone's using each other in some way.
It's true.
Even if it's not in a bad way. I hire Michael in this position at work because he's good at it. That's why he's in this position, because he's qualified for it, right? But if he stops doing his job at work, I'll have a conversation with him, I'm going to let you go. Everyone's replaceable.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we start to realize that, to just have boundaries and slow down and, go to God and understand that everything's fleeting and stuff like that.
That's it, man. That's it. And so now, after being through so many experiences like that, at this point in my life, I've learned that when I join forces with a ministry, whether it's a church or, anything, that ultimately I'm there to serve God, not necessarily the ministry. I'm there to serve God. Now, if God tells me, or I feel like from the Lord, like God wants me to do is to serve the vision of this ministry, then I'm gung-ho. I'm all about it. But I also keep in the back of my mind that people are going to make mistakes. I think the fear that we have a lot of times is when a person that we've put on a pedestal or with a person that we're following makes a mistake, that now there's a fear that we're going to lose. We're going to lose something. And so now all these things are going into play. But when no, I have my faith is actually in God, and I'm going to give room for you, Fausto, to make mistakes, because you're just a human being. Yeah. I'm giving room because you're not my hope. God's my hope. He's the one that I'm obeying. As I'm joining with you, even on this podcast, I'm obeying him, right? But you're not above making mistakes, so I give room for that. You're probably going to make mistake at some point. That's okay with me, because we're going to get through it. Because ultimately God told me to do it, and I'm here and doing it. You see what I mean? It's a different mentality than of like, you've got to be this great, perfect person before I can serve in any capacity in this way. You don't need to be a perfect person, because I'm not serving you, I'm serving God. Yeah.
I remember Chief taught me this little quick thing when it came to cleaning the rehab houses. I don't like cleaning. I got studio hands. I don't want to clean. I want to talk to clients. And I'd get angry. I'm like, how dare you tell me to mop the floor? I just want to talk to clients. And I would get really, resentful and angry. Think about the coworker that told me, or the boss, the house manager, like program director, like, how dare you? Yeah. And then Chief's like, remember, you're not cleaning the house for your boss. You're cleaning the house for God. He's like, when you think like that, it makes things easier to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm cleaning this house for God. God's praising me. He's validated. He's stoked on me. I don't care.
He sees me.
I don't care if my boss is an asshole or he's late or whatever. No, I'm doing this for God. Don't matter. And switching it up that perspective of, I'm doing this for God. That's why I'm showing up. I'm forgiving you for God. I'm forgiving you. Because like you said, it's not personal. No. If you hurt me, you're probably hurting everyone around you. Exactly. But sometimes we think, how dare that person hurt me? Yeah. Like we're the only one that they're choosing to hurt. So no, I love that. And so you have this story, and we still have more part to this podcast, but I want to bring you on again for more. But let's talk about, before we get into this game, let's talk about your music now. Okay. So just know, guys, next time I bring him on, we're going to talk about his America's Got Talent. That's a whole episode. Just know there's more. We talked about it in another podcast. Yeah. But so let's go with now. So you have this journey of music, right? In another episode, we'll talk about how you're on America's Got Talent. I call it the world record, on top of the world, on bottom of the world record, overnight. Right? I was looking at the world record. Guinness World Record.
The Guinness World probably.
Probably.
Less than 24 hours.
and a big reason why, right? You had these ups and downs in your recent years was right because, like you said, you started choosing alcohol over God.
Yes, yeah.
And now, like I've told you, I feel like you've been sober now for how long?
I mean, I could look for the exact dates, but it's at least been 1.5 years.
Okay.
Almost 2 years.
It's almost 2 years. And I've told you, this is probably the best version of you I've ever seen because you're radically vulnerable.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how this new version of you, what helped you become this radically vulnerable, and what's this music that you're creating now?
Yeah, man. I just, I guess when the reality is when I was hit in the face with the reality that I was using alcohol, I was running to alcohol instead of God for my issues and my problems, right? Because I just didn't know what to do. I had so much going on and so much stress and brokenness in my life. And so this is what I was using. I realized like, oh man, I was using this to like cover up and manage all these issues that I had internally, right? And instead of giving it up to God and receiving healing from it. And I was hanging on to these things that when you look back after you get freedom from things, you look back and you're like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? I can't believe I wanted to protect this giant gaping wound in my life instead of handing it over to God and allowing him to heal me. So that way now I can walk on this side in total freedom from that. You know what I mean? It's like you just don't realize you're doing it, but when you get to the other side and you just look back at what you were doing, you're like, I can't believe that I was even that person.
Yeah.
And so where I feel like the reason why I can be vulnerable is because, and we were talking about this earlier, and this just hit me when Mike said this, but when we hide our weakness, we're hiding the work of God in our lives. When we hide our weakness, we're hiding God's work in us. And it's why he says when we are weak, he is strong. This is, that's how we get to put we don't boast in our own achievements, but we boast in God. And this is the moments that we're allowed to boast, right? Look at what God did in me, because I was totally incapable of this. I couldn't even identify the emotions I was feeling, let alone create from that place of connection, right? I did a lot of creating, but it was a lot from the head, Now I'm in a place where I'm connected to my feelings and my emotions because I've gone through the healing and that process, the therapy, the years of therapy. Like I said, it was 6 years that I took off, and I'd taken 6 years off, and I'd gone through the healing and that process, and now I'm able to connect words with the actual things that I was feeling and experiencing, and there was always like this barrier that I couldn't explain, but there's always this barrier, and I knew it was there. I just had no clue how to break through it, So a lot of the songs that I wrote 6 years ago, I wrote them from a place of knowing in my head that this was the right things for me to do. That gratitude and gratefulness, that I was grateful to God for things, but at the same time I couldn't connect the feeling and the emotional gratefulness to the words. There was just that experience. I had never had that experience because of the barriers that were there. But after going through, like I said, the healing process and taking that 6 years off and really just focusing in on my family, my relationship with my wife, my kids, and myself, and prioritizing that, now coming out on the other side, it's completely different. And it's crazy is there were songs that I wrote 5 years ago that I'm now able to actually truly sing them. You know, I wrote them from a head perspective, but now I have like the authority to actually sing these songs. So several of these songs that I've been releasing recently, they're songs that were written, but I'm just now in the season of life that I carry the breakthrough and the authority and the victory so I can truly sing these songs the way they were intended to be sung. And what a gift from God. Like I look at that and I'm like, God, you are so good. You are so faithful to let me know that I was healed up enough to get, you know, that I would know that I was healed up enough to where I could actually sing these songs. It's just such a gift, such a gift. And the latest song that I released is called Grateful. And it talks about been through hell and back again, but couldn't do without my friend. I'm grateful. And I was talking about this earlier, but what a mark of maturity to say, hey God, I'm actually really grateful for even the problems in my life. I'm grateful for the pain that I experienced. I'm grateful for the trauma that I had to deal with, because without it, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't carry the creativity probably that I have today. I wouldn't have done the hard work that's shown me how to express my feelings and my emotions, and it also gives me a voice to help others to go through that same. I wouldn't have the ability or the understanding to walk with, even with my own children, through things if I hadn't gone through all those things. So weirdly enough, and I remember in the beginning, like 6 years ago, people would tell me things like, one day you're going to be grateful for all this pain. And I was like, shut up. I was like, maybe one day, but it ain't today. You know, I remember that. I remember thinking that. And here I am, like I said, 6 years later, and I am so grateful because I get to sing these songs to the Lord from a place of humility with no weird agenda or thoughts. Yes, I would love for these songs to do great. I would love to continue to build my career creating and making music. But that my desire is not to be this, I do not seek out and desire fame for myself. If somebody looks at me, I hope what they see is the story of this broken man that God has worked through. That's what I hope. I hope when I sing a song that it leads people to go look at me, then through me. You know? Oh, yeah, Michael, yeah, I really admire that about Michael. Oh, he was messed up. Oh, that's because of God.
Yeah.
Oh, God can work in my life. You know? That's what I hope people see, and with my songs. And again, when I'm leading worship, I want to create an access point for people to connect with the Father, with God, the real Father, right? Because just like you said, when you don't have a good father in your life, you do become desperate for a father, and you start looking, and then you actually start finding it in God. And when you find the real father heart of God, then you're messed up, you're ruined, you're done. Here it's for the rest of your life. You're serving God.
That's right.
You're serving Him because you know, like, oh, that was everything that I needed was found in you, you know? And you really are that good. And you really do love me. And all the things they say about you are true. You are so good. You know what I mean? And when you find that, there's no turning back from that. You know, there's really is no turning back if you truly encounter that place. And so that's what I hope people, you know, with my music and with hearing my songs, I hope that it points you to that relationship, because that's the only one that's never going to let you down. He's the only one that's not going to manipulate or use you. He's the only one, God is the only one that's going to identify your gifts and cheer you on and want to see your gifts thrive in you without having ulterior motives of like manipulating or using you for them. No, He's 100% for you, you know? And so that's the person of God that I want people to be led to through my story, my life, and my music and my songs. Yeah.
I love that. You know, there's that saying, right? People that are doing better than you will never try to bring you down. They're always going to pump you up, man. You got this. You got this. And I'll tell you what, everybody, God's always doing better than us. And that's why he will always be cheering you on. He's like, ain't nothing you can do that's going to make me feel like I need to bring you down.
That's good, dude. That's a good point.
And just so you guys know, before we get into this game, he's somebody who can say it with respect about how it's not about the fame. Because you'll know in the next episode, you'll know he has had his moment of fame.
Yeah.
And I mean fame. And I think when you...
Thank God it only lasted for a day.
You had mega fame for a day, yeah. You had fame going out for like a season.
Yeah, I had a season of it, and then but thank God it was short lived, because I think about that quite often. Like, what if I'd have gotten stuck there? What if I'd have gotten stuck there in the condition that I was in? In the condition that I was in.
You see it happen. Look at Britney Spears. Look at Justin Bieber. Yeah. You see these people. And I'm sure you could see it from like, oh yeah, child, fame. I can imagine you have these issues, that much spotlight, the stress that comes with it, what it really looks like. That's why some people I love that are like, it's like, I just want to be rich, not famous. I don't need to be famous to get rich. I'll get rich and have nobody know me.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be the dream.
Yeah.
Again, the reason, if God can use it to lead people to him but that's such a hard, fine line to walk. And I see it all the time, and I've seen it, and unfortunately I've seen it with a lot of my friends. And thank God some of my close friends that got sucked into that thing of fame have come out on the other side, and they've got very similar stories to mine. And, they made it through to the other side. But there's so many that are just, it destroys them. And it's really interesting because the stress and the weight of it, of the fame that was meant for God, when it rests on you, it starts not just mentally and spiritually, but physically. Like you can almost see it almost on people. It starts decaying them in a weird way, because they're never meant to carry that weight. It wasn't meant for them.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the psychologist, or Chris Rock had a joke. He goes, if you want to know what it's like to be famous, it's like being a really hot, attractive girl. So it's the same thing. People treat the same thing. And I'm laughing because it's right? Oh, here, open the door for you. Are you hungry? Here's some food. You see how people treat women. Yeah. And he's like, that's how to be famous. And I was laughing with that, but you're right. But it's true, right? That level of attention on you,
but 9 times out of 10, there's an ulterior motive.
And that's what I was going to say, right? And now
think about why somebody going to that attractive girl like that.
Oh, that's the thing. So now you don't know who's really your friend. You're being used. It's just people's idea of you is based on a video they see of you or a movie you acted in. You're like, that's not me. I act in that movie. Oh my gosh, that is you. No, that's not me. So I totally get it. But also what it does is it makes you see the dark side of humanity when you're in that place of fame.
Yeah, it does.
Place of pride. And that's why now you have a very skewed, you have a very, it's almost like God says, you don't want to know everything. You can't handle knowing everything. That's just my job.
Yeah.
You sure you want to know everything? Like kind of like Bruce Almighty? You sure you want to know everything?
Yeah.
Here's you're going to know everybody's thought, everybody's feeling, everything's going on, and you can't handle it. And I feel like fame can do that, where you're going to see too much from humankind.
Yeah.
You're going to see the ugliest sides of humankind.
Yep.
You're famous. All right, Mike, you ready for this game?
I don't know. Explain to me the rules.
Okay, so here are the rules. Luckily with you, I'm the only one that's really going to suffer.
Okay, good.
Maybe if you lose...
Wait a minute, what is that?
So I'm going to eat this. So if you get it right, and you win this game, I have to eat the hottest beef jerky in the world. Luckily, I know your stomach can't handle this. I told Anthony, I know Michael's stomach can't. I know it can't.
Dude, I can't do spicy food.
I know. You're Tennessee
Let alone
boy.
that. You got more Latino in you than I do.
That's right. I always forget you got the Latino in you. I forget about that. But if he loses, maybe we'll post up his mugshot or something.
Oh my God. This is too good, man.
If you lose, you gotta eat a handful of those jelly beans there.
Oh yeah. Me?
Yeah, hopefully you get some throw up in there, and booger and some raw egg.
I'll agree to that.
Okay, so the first round, right? There's a couple rounds, so we'll go based off of if you win them all, kind of like best out of 5 type of thing. So the first game is 2018. America's Got Talent. Every year they have the top 5?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Ketterer, what was the order of the top 5 contestants from first place to 5th place? Obviously we know who got 5th place, right? You better not mess that one up.
Okay. Oh my gosh! You mean are you talking about just on that one episode? I was in 5th.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, we got the top. So yeah, what was the final 5? What were the places?
Oh my gosh! I know number 1 was Shin Lim.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm gonna lose this one.
You got first place right, Shin Lim, the magician. You got 5th place right yourself.
Me. Okay, let me even think. Who else was even in the upper ones? I can't. Oh man, I can't even remember who the other people were. This is so sad. I can't remember who they are. Any of the other people.
You just lost some fans right now, huh? Those 3 are like, we don't like Michael no more.
This is terrible, but I don't like right off the top of my head. I can't remember. I would remember if I could just like jog my memory. I would, but
So I'm gonna give you their talents. I'll
okay.
give you the helps.
Okay, thank you.
So so this is not the order of them, but these are the talents
Okay.
that were in there. Electric violinist,
Oh yeah.
stand-up comedian,
Okay.
and an acrobatic group.
Duo Transcend was the acrobatic group.
What are they called?
Duo Transcend
No.
wasn't them. Oh no. Okay, I know the guy that plays the violin.
Mm-hmm.
I know him. He was really awesome, but I can't think of his name.
What place do you think he got?
4th.
No. he got 3rd place. Brian King Joseph.
Brian King Joseph. Yes, yes. He was so cool. He was such a cool guy.
You don't remember who the stand-up comedian was?
Yes, he was I know this is gonna sound terrible because I can't remember his name, but I know he had Tourette's. He had Tourette's. He came in 4th.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, because I remember he went after me. That's right. So I got 5th. He got 4th. Brian King Joseph got 3rd. Then the acrobatic group was not Duo Transcend. It was a different acrobat group. Because Duo Transcend, I still follow them on social media and we comment back and forth on each
So
other's
they
stuff.
they weren't the top 5. They were in it. That's why.
Okay. Wait a minute. I know exactly who these guys are. They're actually Christians because they were believers and they're from Ukraine or something like that. They're from Russia or Ukraine, and they were called. Oh my gosh. Their names, I can't remember what they're called, but they did the one on Adam and Eve as their last thing. It was so good. Yes, I love those guys.
So yeah, you lost that round.
What's their name?
Zucchero.
Zucchero,
yeah.
Yes. Dude, it's been so long since I've thought about any of that.
I'll tell you what, the Shin Lim likes you. He goes, okay, you got me right. But 3 tickets to Vegas. Come on. See
Man, that would be the dream. Zucchero, oh man, those guys were so great too. They were just great.
How was it seeing Shin Lim's performance in person?
Shin Lim was amazing. Like in person, there was some of the times it kind of does. I'm just gonna be honest. A little bit of the magicians live would kind of throw you off because they were leaning into the television to do some of their trick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in real life, when you saw it live, you could see like the strings and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Shin Lim was so cool, dude. He was a great guy. Yeah, he was a cool guy. Zucchero, those kids were so funny. Like because we were all crammed in this one room forever. So I got to really know those guys. And the main guy was such a sweet, great human being. And they were believers too, which that was so cool.
All right, so Fausto has 1 point, Michael 0.
I feel like I'm gonna lose this game, guys.
Huh?
How many of these you have?
The next thing are just songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no,
You
I'm
ready?
probably gonna lose this one.
So
too.
remember, these are all your songs.
I know.
So I'm going to share some lyrics and let's see if he knows it. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Nothing can hold on. Nothing can separate me. Nothing can hold me down. Not death or life can take me from this love that I found.
Okay, he goes, nothing can separate me. Nothing can hold me down. Death or life, baby. Love I found. I know it's on my album. It's like the 40 album. It's my album called 40. Nothing can separate me. Oh my God, dude. This is terrible. This is so terrible. I can't remember.
I'm already seeing the
name of
mugshot
song.
real big on the screen right now.
I'm just gonna start eating these things. Yeah. Can I look at my phone?
No.
Give me so I can see this. So I can see the songs.
Can I look up the answer?
No. Look at the answers. I just want to see the list of songs. The list of the songs on my album. Okay. I quit. I give up. I can't remember the name of the title.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yes. What is wrong with me?
Fausto.
It's actually not even on that album. It's a different album.
I got 2 points. All right, you ready? Here we go. Next song. I'm desperate. I'm desperate to come in. I won't be satisfied until I'm with
Water
you.
Need.
Well, okay, you got that one. Okay. All right, here we go.
Yes,
Now it's a game. Now it's entertaining.
Okay.
Okay, 2-1. All right, next one. We can run straight into your arms, unafraid.
Met by love.
Get met by
Okay.
love. Come back. That's a good one people should check out. That was one of the first videos of United Pursuit that I saw, so I get an idea of like what you mean. And
Dude, that's a beautiful.
yeah, you get the best part of it. Okay. Come into the light. Come into the light.
Mm-hmm.
All of heaven's waiting for you, so just step inside.
Waiting for you, so step inside. That's come into the light. All of heaven's waiting for you to step inside.
This is the tie break. The last question. It's tie game, so you get ready, you lose.
All of heaven's waiting for you to step inside. Oh my God, I know what song it is. I know what song it is. I just can't think of the name right off the top of my head. What is it? Okay, it's not. It was on the Rebels album, and it is.
Come on, come into the light. Come into the light. I've been waiting all this time. Come on.
I know what song it is. It's on the Rebels album, and it is called Rebels. No, it's not Rebels. It's not that one. It's called oh my gosh. Give me a little hint.
Come on, Rebels. See, it's not Rebels. Rebels, you look like you're from Star Wars.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. That's true.
Not that one. Think about it. This song is.
Coming to the light, all of heaven.
I think you have 2 versions of it too. There's an acoustic version of it.
Yes.
All right. So there's.
And I know the name of this. I know the song. I just can't think of the title to it.
What's it start with?
Just give me what it starts with.
K.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. I know Michael Barkulis right now. If he watches this, he's gonna kill me because we wrote this song. It starts with K.
Yeah. It's even in the song. You say it over and over and
yeah.
over and over the song so many times. That's why I couldn't put
Just
that
sing
part.
the melody part. Just sing the melody.
Me?
Or the just hum it.
I can't.
Not in my time.
I know. It's not my talent, Michael. If God gave me the gift of singing. Imagine. Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is terrible. But this is honestly, guys. I have a hard time with little details like that sometimes. But I know what song this is. Okay, just tell me what it is.
Kingdom.
Oh, okay, Kingdom. Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so it goes King. Single words.
It goes away.
Come into the light. Come into the light. Oh yeah, dude. I totally know that song. 100%.
Fairly, you know.
Yeah, I just haven't sang them in a while, dude. But you're right because that was like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember because I would sing them at Magic House.
Yeah.
And dude, they're still such powerful songs. But now, like I said, 6 years later, here I am. I'm coming back. I'm back to the music again. Unfortunately, or whichever way you look at it, it's so different now than it was 6 years ago. I'm having to relearn everything on how to get your music out there, on how to do things. Being on podcasts like this is like a super big part of like what it takes to help get your music out there, but also like social media and all these new ways of doing it. It's all brand new, you know. And I'm having to come back at like, it's like I'm coming back at like 48 and having to learn a whole new language, a whole new system.
You'll figure it out. You always do.
Yeah, I mean, we are, yes.
And if people don't know,
have
like
a good team of people.
You know, like one of your songs on Spotify, right? The Spirit Lead Me has 45 million.
I know, that crazy.
And I'm sure there's more based on all the platforms, but it just shows you that, you know, you have the talent, you have the look, and you have the gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you're going to come back even better than ever.
Wow, man. You've always believed in me, man.
I do.
Always.
Even in your craziness, I still do.
Even at my worst.
So just so people don't know, all my musician friends, I weirdly listen to their music too much. Like in a weird way. He's like, kid you not. I'm not even a joke. I had to show my buddy. I'm like, you're my #1 artist on Spotify at the end of the year. He goes, oh my gosh, you weren't lying. I go, I know. Because you can see that.
But yeah, I love that, man.
All right, Michael. Well, we're still going to put up, well, actually, we're going to put up his mug shop. So it's going to pop up his mug shop. And I love Michael, so I'm still going to eat this for you guys for some entertainment.
I'm concerned. Do I just eat a whole handful at once?
Handful? Yeah, he's going to have it once.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is my Harry Potter
Raw booger.
Oh my gosh.
Vomit sausage, that was good.
The vomit? I can't do it. Okay, ready? Here we go. Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh, raw.
Good to hear, man. Oh my God. You still gotta answer a couple. You gotta answer one question. You gotta give some advice for artists. I want to be a musician. Oh my gosh,
this is terrible, bro. It makes me think of like I'm just eating a green bean mixed with bubble gum and something spicy in here too.
This is I don't know. It could be, I don't know. I don't have the box. I just know this booger, throw up, vomit, sausage, grass, dirt.
I'm definitely getting dirt.
Oh.
How are you doing, bro?
I'm having an out-of-body experience.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
They're that spicy?
Oh, it's a Carolina Reaper. It's the hottest beef jerky in the world. That's why I knew with you. I was like, yeah, Michael will die.
No, thank you for not making me do
die.
that. I'd rather eat dirt. Even though it's like it's giving me like chewing on a beetle. All right.
Okay.
Almost there.
So now, Michael, before we do your plugins, because we're gonna put everything too in the description, what kind of advice would you want to give an artist? So imagine all these musicians right now, and they're high school, middle school, maybe adult, and they really want to pursue being a musician. What type of wisdom would you want to share with them that you've learned?
You're doing better with that Carolina Reaper than I am. Oh my God. All right, here we go. What type of advice for me to do what?
To give to some future artists. So you have a bunch of high school kids watching, middle school, maybe people that are adults that are pursuing their passion of music. What type of wisdom would you want to give them to help them on their journey?
Probably, I'll give you some wisdom and some advice that you're probably not going to hear very often. But any kind of music that you're doing, any type of thing that you're creating, I would advise you to do the work inside as an artist and as a creative. It's only going to, if you do the work on yourself, whatever that looks like, if it looks like therapy, reading books, I'm sure you have so many things that because that's what you do, right? Mm-hmm. You help people do that type of work and stuff. Like, there's so many different things that you can do to do that work internally. I would say do that, because that's just only going to make your art and your expression and what you create so much more authentic, real, valuable, effective, and it's also going to help you carry the weight of any success that you would gain from it too. And failure, right? The success and failure. It's going to help you carry the weight of it. It's only going to benefit you as an artist and musician, and it's only going to benefit what you create to do that work on you internally. Mm-hmm. So wherever you're at in your career, you can start doing that right away. This is still so disgusting.
No, I love that. And then where can people check out your social media? What are your social media handles? Your Spotify?
Yeah. My social media is Michael Ketterer Music. I'm also connected with Influence Music as well. I do most of my worship stuff through Influence, and then my personal music stuff is under Michael Ketterer. And so you can look me up on Spotify, anywhere music is sold. You can look up Michael Ketterer, and you're going to immediately get a list of like the newer songs that I've done. but you're gonna see a lot of the older ones too, and specifically "Spirit Lead Me." That song is just so powerful because it was written out of a real place of a ton of vulnerability when I wrote that song. But yeah, and you get to see all the ones that I didn't know I can't remember the titles of today. I guarantee you when I get back, I'm gonna have to. My PR people are gonna make me do some studying before the next podcast I go on.
Well, I just want to say, thank you, Michael, for being here. Thank you for, being vulnerable with us and sharing all that wisdom and your journey of, the creativity journey that you've had. Because, you are somebody that I know personally that is a good person, that you do love people. You've been through so much, and life has beat you down in many ways. And you've always found a way to get back up and to make something out of it. So I'm proud to be your friend, and just thank you for being on the show.
Oh man, well that's amazing. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and for you and wanting to hear my story. So thank you.
And cut.